to always plan on doing that. Like, I may have like a day where something completely like blows up and I don't leave my desk. Well, I can't go take my break, clock out and go do my stuff, you know, because I have an obligation to the, you know, to what I'm doing, what I'm doing during the day. Yes, it is my break and time I can take, but there's sometimes my workload, I can't physically do that. And then to worry about getting out at 5 o'clock, you know, scrambling to get my son and get home, like literally, it was like 4 minutes to 6, I posted it, on the Thursday night. So I don't mind making exceptions, but I can't make that the rule, like, all the time, like, if you, like, I was, like, Sue, I really need to Thursday, I mean, I will make it work.
All right, Jeff?
I thought the deadline anyways for us was Wednesday, to get in, that's what we had agreed to. Was to get in by Wednesday. I understand about the exceptions, but we should still hold to that the deadline is Wednesday. You said something about Tuesday, so do we want to move?
No,
I'm
that,
saying, because what happens with the agendas is it gets sent out so that everybody can look at it to make sure that everything that's supposed to be on there is on draft. Right, it's the draft agenda, so I get it, I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I thought we were talking about this, or somebody will say, oh, this needs to go on there too, or, oh, can we add this? And that's what Tuesday's for. And then
so I
Wednesday is when, but if we need to say that, I mean, because we did say the deadline was gonna be Wednesday. That's when we originally started talking about all this, and when we shifted all the meetings to the Monday, and we said, because we were worried about the deadlines and all of that, that we did say that we were gonna make sure that that deadline was for Wednesday. So, I mean, unless you think that's gonna be, if that's gonna cause major problems, or if we leave it as an exception, or, but it,
Just play with it, see how it goes.
Yes, I mean, I have no problem, I mean, like, pick up the phone, it's like, if you send me an email,
What's it called?
again, I have to like literally walk out of like the building,
Give
because
me an example, all right?
right,
Let's talk about the work session for a minute. Tricia's here. She was away at a conference. We wanted to put before this group the 5-year food service plan.
right.
She barely got it to me in time for this agenda. So there's those, I think, around the room, we work all day too.
I know.
No, and I'm not criticizing, we work all day too, so when I get criticized that I didn't look at an email when I should have looked at an email, be in my role, just for a couple of days, and you'll find that there isn't a lot of time for all of us to kind of gather and say, okay, let's stop, let's look at the agenda, and let's make sure that we're responding to this.
Right.
We're kind of, pieces are all coming together, and they come together at the last minute, and it's not being criticizing anyone like Tricia or Ed, but they're all doing their job, and then
Right.
you're asking them for something to stop and give us this for this particular need.
So then is it,
And so we start this process, quite honestly, you're gonna find, and Mike can tell you, because he was kind of shocked by it, when we're done with an agenda on Monday the 19th,
Right.
we are starting on the 20th
Right.
for the next month.
Right.
And that month, by the way, comes up pretty quick.
yeah,
And so there's a bunch of stuff that's going on all the time, and it's just not agendas that we do.
so,
But I don't think
How
it's
do we get around-
unreasonable to say that our deadline's Wednesday, like say Wednesday at X o'clock. And then unfortunately, if something doesn't make it, then we either have to have an emergency meeting or it has to wait till next month. I mean, I don't,
can I just ask, so if we knew that we were gonna have the 5-year plan on the agenda, do we have to put the 5-year plan attached with the agenda as it's being, and I'm asking this because as it's being
You talk about
posted.
being, let's go to Dan for a second. You talk about being seamless and having people see it. You want that part of the public discussion.
Well, as it's posted to the Secretary of State's
Yeah,
website,
you're posting it to the public.
Right.
but if we just posted,
5-year plan?
right,
That's not telling you anything. That's
But-
defeating the purpose of having that night, dropping it on the public and say, by the way, the 5-year plan's on the stage, pick it up and read it.
no, but what I was gonna kinda get to was maybe something in between that, where we know it's coming up, we know we wanna look at it, we know we wanna discuss it, we know we have a deadline to get it onto the Secretary of State's website, so maybe it goes on the Secretary of State's website, without the documentation behind it, with something on it that says documentation available, and we put it on our website, or we,
But
Do-
it
do
still won't
avoid-
be up there 48 hours.
Right, but if I wait till the Thursday, if you, I have, again, I have I have no problem doing that, but to,
You know, you see what all that went into this health bid today?
yes,
And he can tell you, we had to actually look at and work our way back from a meeting and see when
I
our
know.
drop dead deadline was. And we did this probably 3 months ago to decide, okay, we need to get this at the March meeting.
right.
How do we do this? We have to post it for so much, and he has to put it out for so long, and we're working, and then all of a sudden, we pick up the phone and we call this, Rob, and say, Rob, we're gonna need this stuff by such and such a date. We sat with him only 2 days ago, and he had to come back and give us an executive summary so that you folks could have an executive summary. This is not an easy, no, I'm just
I
saying,
know it,
it's
and
not
I
an easy
know- I
task
know.
to kind of get, now, if we, let's say,
Yeah.
we missed it, yes, you would have to have a special meeting, Stephanie, because you
We
can't
have a
open a
deadline.
bid for healthcare in
Right.
April.
No, exactly.
Yeah, so as long as everybody's okay with that, and they don't wanna bitch and moan that they have another meeting, then be aware that this possibility is going to exist.
Do we get
And what is,
overtime
what
pay
is
for
the,
those meetings?
what is the, what
Yes,
is, what is the
10
answer?
times what
That's right,
Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah, right, exactly.
What is the answer?
I'll do it.
I mean, I don't know what the, I'm asking you, because I'm not, we all have jobs, we all, this is all our second or third jobs, and so, I just, it's your hobby, it's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
hobby.
yeah.
I didn't
It's
know
my
how.
hobby,
Yeah.
very strange taste, but I don't know what the answer is, that's why I'm saying to you, you know, because I do understand all the work that goes in it, I understand all of the work that goes on.
Just make it
here.
Wednesday, and we'll see if this will work.
I mean,
No, really, just try give it Wednesday.
And should we, have a time, like 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock,
it's
5 o'clock?
Because then I got,
Tuesday the bill.
Okay,
We're
yeah.
Right,
going
that's
to
what they're doing.
circulate.
right, Tuesday is for the draft, and then Wednesday,
I mean, I can post it at 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Mm.
I'm usually doing, working that, I can always make an exception. If I know the day before, on Wednesday, so we really need till Thursday at
Because
3,
the other
4
one is-
o'clock, I will make that accommodation. I can coordinate my day and be like, I have to take, my half hour or my hour, and I can accommodate that. But when I,
all right, so what we'll do is we'll say Wednesday is we'll try the Wednesday. The other thing that we could do is we could schedule just an add-on meeting every month. That doesn't mean that we have to have the meeting every month, but we add a meeting on at the end of every month.
I would
In
say
case-
go with Wednesdays, yeah, because that's, it seems that we agree, I thought we agreed to that a few months ago at least, and, seems to be working, for me, from what I see.
You'll have that.
Yeah, exactly,
But
that's what I'm thinking, I'm
that's-
afraid of,
yeah.
Peter.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
ex-nay on the extra meeting, I.
Yeah,
But there's gonna be times where we're gonna have to.
Of course.
So I just,
oh, yeah, yeah,
and that.
yeah, no, I'm
that's-
fine with
So can I ask a question? So are we still sending it to you or, okay,
Yeah, you're still
Right.
gonna centralize all your
right?
information to
And
Red.
then it goes
On
to,
Tuesday, the draft
And then
agenda is
okay,
gonna go
right.
out, everybody's gonna look at it,
Okay.
we're gonna send it back, say, go
I'll
through it,
draft it, send it out on Tuesday night,
and then we should be able to go. All right, and we'll try it, and we'll see what happens, and if it causes a
Bless
some
you.
issues, I just, I wanna continue this conversation, so I don't want this to go back and forth, so.
okay,
So by what time on Wednesday do we, so
I mean,
by
honestly, we
Tuesday, so Tuesday, the majority of the stuff needs to get to you.
Mhm.
We should have a draft turned around by Wednesday during business hours, so we
no, by
can,
Tuesday night, it'll be waiting for you Wednesday morning.
okay. So during business on Wednesday, we can eyeball it for whatever. And then between Wednesday evening and hopefully not, Thursday morning, we have extra stuff, but.
If it needs to be, an email or a phone call, so we need more time, I can configure that going into work on Thursday morning, but in waiting all day long and getting stuff at 3, 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then I'm flying out trying to get it
Or
I'm just
get
trying to
some-
establish some timelines, so
Right,
that we're
right.
clear on what.
How much time would you need to modify the agenda if one of us was to send you something on Wednesday? By Wednesday by 2 o'clock, is that enough time for you, or do you need by noon? What is good for you, to change it right before it goes out?
Well, probably before I leave for home.
And
So,
what
you know, I
so
mean,
what time,
I don't need it.
what time do you?
Well, I will look at it, before I leave, I look at my email at 4 o'clock.
Okay, okay.
I mean, because I don't look at it all day long.
So how's Wednesday at 3? Just because I always budget that.
Yeah, Wednesday is fine.
Okay.
The bigger question is what am I doing on this next agenda? Because I guess obviously nobody wants the new way, so are we gonna do this way now? Because it's ready to go. And by the way, we already facing a problem. Tomorrow's a snowstorm, and none of us are here, and so.
Do you wanna send me what you
I think we
I'd have
should
to
keep it in the old
I'd have
format.
to
for
sit
this
here
one.
and-
This
For,
one,
yeah,
yes.
for old time's
For
sake.
this upcoming one, everybody be prepared. It's gonna be the format that we've had for the last couple of months. Look at the backup and use the other thing as a guide. That's the easiest way to look at it, all
I
right?
can,
No,
but I
I
could,
can.
No,
I could
it's,
print-
because they're not gonna,
No, no,
because they're
leave
not
it,
here
leave it.
tomorrow.
no, I know that, and I don't mind, like,
No, we're just,
Just leave it.
we're just leaving it. Okay? All right. Are we good?
You good?
Okay, no, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, school calendar.
Okay, so, I realize it is rather small, but,
Wow. We haven't
that
had,
is a Stephanie comment.
It is, but I didn't say it for once.
That's.
we haven't had a comment like that in
All
a
right.
long time.
Okay.
That's what she
in September, we have 4 holidays because we have, Labor Day, Primary Day, Yom Kippur, and Rosh Hashanah. I know historically we have tried to begin school after Labor Day, but, if we do that, I think we're losing an opportunity the last week in August. Again, this is just a suggestion. I know we've had multiple discussions about when to start and when to end. You know, this year alone, we're up to 4 snow days currently. And not even snow days, one was in October when we had this weird kind of quasi-hurricane.
Right.
So, the weather, again, is so variable, but anyway, so if you look at what I'm proposing, we would start, again, potentially for new teacher orientation, which is that Thursday and Friday, the 23rd and 24th. Now, here's the other problem, where as, you know, all these snow days start to come to be, all of our summer construction projects get put off. So the later we're in school, the more delayed those projects become, the more delayed they start. The potential for not finishing in August is there. I mean, historically, again, Ed has been amazing with making sure people are on top of things and schools are cleaned and ready to go. I
Is our
don't,
last date this year the 19th? Is that right?
right now,
I think it's the 20th right
Oh,
now.
and so today,
We have to have one today.
I don't, you
It'll-
know, because it's.
21st.
Right here all year. But anyway, that being said, if we begin school in August, we pick up some days, which I think behoove us on the June end of that. Yeah, it is, but, you know,
Yeah.
it's similar to what we have now with, I think this year we ended on a Friday and those 4 days carried over into that same week. You don't wanna be going to school June 24th,
Right.
25th, 26th.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at right now.
So if you begin after Labor Day, yeah, you will, potentially, with snow days, so.
So I'm going to make the, again, very unpopular suggestion
Oh, Janice.
that we cut, not remove, not eliminate, but that we shorten the February vacation, as many districts have already done. More than half of the districts have already done. My
Yeah, this
reasoning-
schedule leaves both vacations in as
Oh.
usual.
My reasoning is twofold for this. One is because this year alone, we have the 4 days off in September. Adding to that, as the superintendent said, the construction projects, which we know of for this year and what we don't know of for the following years to come. It's something that we can, again, I'm not saying eliminate it completely, and I'm not even saying that we have to do the February one. How about we cut the April one and keep the February one if people are more inclined to use it. I'm just saying that to keep the full vacations with the 4 days in September off, just seems like we are shorting ourselves a little bit, because we know that there's things that need to get done, and because we know we don't want kids in the building in the, hot days, that would, as much as we can kind of look at that.
Either way, August or June.
So, I know, so it's just one of those things, and so while I just don't know if we wanna look at taking back